Hi, beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me. I wanted to sit down and have a conversation with you guys about, some things that have been on my mind and just wanted to do like a chit chat kind of thing. So, one of the most important things that I love to talk about and that I'm new with talking about, but definitely very important to me. For those of you who don't know, I just had my first child in October of 2016, and I had a baby boy, and I obviously so proud to be a mom, but it was definitely a journey and an adjustment to, go from being single and worrying about myself completely and solely. For as long as I can remember, everything was about me, like my dreams, my career, what I wanted to do, the businesses I want to start, like all those things, the goals I want to accomplish. I could just get up and go, right? I didn't have to check in with anybody. I didn't have to think about anything like that. Not that I was rude, because I don't want to say that I was rude or like inconsiderate of others, because that's definitely not the case. But when I say I was selfish in the true sense of the word, that I really thought of myself, like that's it, like that was the main, I was the main person in my world, and I would say for me, my faith helped a lot. With that regard, like kept me grounded in God and my faith. However, here on earth, Aisha was the most important thing in Aisha's world. And then I found out I was going to have a baby. And, I'm not going to lie. Like, initially, I was just like, wait, what? Like, excuse me? Now, not to be coy, like, I know how I got pregnant, right? But I just didn't think that I would become a mom, right? Especially at that point in my life. And it wasn't that I, wasn't where I wanted to be, but I think in a lot of ways you never are, you never are where you 100% want to be. Some people are. Some people, they're like, hey, I have my career 100% where I wanted to be. And I just didn't at that time. And even now, and I'm blessed. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I'm grateful for the career I do have. But I was just finishing, I was still in school, actually graduate school, and it was my last semester. So I knew that that would be, an obstacle I would, foresee and get through. But I was like, oh my gosh, and now I have to worry about like my health, my prenatal health. And oh my gosh, now insurance is very important. Not that I didn't have insurance, but it's different for my health, and then now I have to be in charge of, now I'm responsible of a little baby's health. Like, now it's like double important, you know what I mean? And I think for the first time in my life, like, I think that I was really tested in terms of, okay, Aisha, so you are no longer going to be the most important thing in terms of your life. Or let me say this way, you are no longer going to be the only important thing in your life, or the main thing, And I knew that even though I'd never had children before, I'm the oldest of, my dad has 6 children, and my mother has 2, but I'm the oldest out of both sets. And so I just knew that, to be a parent is a huge responsibility. By far, I think, you know, one of the hardest, if not the hardest job ever in life, because you don't get a rule book, you don't get a handbook on how to raise a productive, successful, human being. You just don't. And so it's literally trial and error. And I think in a lot of ways that terrified me, especially my type A personality. It's like, oh my gosh, I don't have a plan. Like, what's the plan? Like, I need to know A, B, C, D, E, I need to know this after this after this. And then what happens, with plan B, if plan A doesn't work out, what happens to, I need like 3 or 4 backup plans. And, the more I live life, and I'm only 28 years old, but the older I get, I realize that, in a lot of ways you can plan for a lot of things in life, and you should. You should be prudent and you should have a plan. But then there are times in life where you're gonna, like, your plan is just, it's not gonna go the way you think. Like, life doesn't always go to your specific plan. It just doesn't. And there are curveballs thrown. that, you just didn't see coming. And for that, you have to be able to adjust and adapt. And I think that the people who are able to adjust and adapt the best and the quickest are the most successful. I truly, honestly believe that. I believe you have faith. I believe if you work hard, you're able to accomplish anything in life, whatever you set your mind to. But part of that goes into the confidence you have in yourself that, yes, I can do this. Yes, I have what it takes. And yes, it may be a struggle. No one said it was going to be easy, but I'll get to the other side of this. Like, I'll see it through. So with becoming a mom, that was really a wake up call in terms of, again, not being the center of my own life anymore, and truly, truly, learning that you are responsible for an entire human being, their health, their mental health, their financial stability, their psychological health, their spiritual growth, every aspect of them as a human being, for at least by law the first 18 years of their life. And then, quite frankly, as a parent for the rest of their life. You're never done being a parent, no matter what the law says. But, you know, that is what you're signing up for. You're signing up to have this little person and walk them through life and basically be their guardian, and and teach them things and grow them and hopefully develop them, and that they can one day grow up and be very successful and productive member of society. And that's very scary in a lot of ways, because it's like, I know for me, I was just like, oh my gosh, but I look back on my life and some things that I wish I wouldn't have done, or some lessons that I wish I wouldn't have had to learn the hard way. And you think about all of those things. You think about all the craziness in the world and all of the people that want to do you harm, your family harm, for no other reason than they're just evil, sick people. I honestly, truly believe that. And the sad part is a lot of times, well, sick or mentally ill people, they don't realize that they are. And so, you have to interact with them. You have to always be on guard, and you always have to be cautious. And, all of that flashed right before my mind and right before my eyes the moment the doctor was like, yeah, you're gonna have a baby. It's just like, oh my gosh, like, how can I protect them from every bad thing in the world? And I know in my heart of hearts that I can't protect them from every bad thing in the world, but it still doesn't change the fact that as a mom, you want to, right? As a mom, the minute I saw my son's face, my heart melted, and I knew that for me, my life would never be the same, because I knew that at that moment, in that moment, if there was ever a doubt, like, not that there was, but if there was ever a doubt in my faith at all, that life was so much bigger than just myself, when I saw his face, he proved that point. It's like, at the end of the day, Aisha, you've been charged with, raising an entire another human being. And that is a very important task to take on, and it shouldn't be taken lightly. And I know people who are just like, what, like, I can't have a kid, I'm not mature enough. But I think in a lot of ways, it's like so many other things in life. Sometimes you're tested with things, and sometimes you have to learn certain lessons, and I think they either make you or they break you. Those lessons are what make or break our character. It's what shows who we truly are. It shows us what we're truly made of. And I think that when you're given an opportunity, then you take it, and you seize it, and you make the best of it. And as far as being a mom, so far, I mean, I love every minute of it. Even the crazy part, the changing the diapers, the waking up at 2 a.m. I probably look like, I could use some more hours of sleep, which I definitely can. And I think the most hurtful thing is that I do work a full-time day job, and I'm not able to see my son during the day, and I miss out on some key, milestone moments, when he first giggled, when he first, started trying to crawl. He's not crawling yet, but he tried, and my boyfriend's here, his father, and he gets to see all those things. And yes, he'll text me or send me Facebook Messenger, but I kind of feel in some way at a loss, because I didn't get to experience it myself firsthand, as his mother. And I know that there's no way I could be at all major, milestones in his life, but I feel like I should be, you know? And I think that that is what hurts, is that balancing career and my son. I think I didn't think it would be as difficult as it's been. And that has been a real struggle for me. And I've really had to pray, and I've really had to try to stay positive, because I took 6 weeks off of work after I had my son. My job, they don't have any type of FMLA. They have short-term disability, and the standard for in the United States is 6 weeks, but that is unpaid unless you have vacation or anything like that saved up. So with a newborn baby, I needed all the money I could get. So I did not take a lot of time off. I took, what the doctor would allow. And, I remember the first week of work, I was just like, I remember thinking, like, what am I doing here? Like, I have a newborn baby at home. Like, my baby's 6 weeks old. Like, why am I at work? And I couldn't, for the life of me, really kind of get past. I would say it took me like a week or two, even back at work, like getting in the groove. And don't get me wrong, I mean, sometimes being at home for those 6 weeks is like, oh my gosh, like I gotta get out of here, I gotta take a break. But it's a lot of difference between taking a break and then knowing that you're not at home for 8 to 10 hours a day, and that's I would say is the most difficult part. I think that you have to be very careful about the career type you pick and the career choice you have, just because if you want to have a family, that affects things. It really does. So you definitely want to think about all those things. And then sometimes things change. Like, that's life, Once upon a time, I didn't have a kid, so my priorities were a lot different. Now I do have a baby, and my priorities are a lot different, right? He is my top priority. And so with that comes a change, and that means that it may be a career change, it may be somewhere else, it may be a different setup in terms of figuring out other ways to make income, but not be tied to a 9 to 5 desk job or what have you. So those are just some of my insights. Again, I love every single minute of being a mom, so far, and the changing the diapers, the waking up at 3 a.m. for a bottle, like all that good stuff, because I think that when he gets older, it'll be great to be like, yeah, you can be up at like 3 a.m., but we can laugh and we could talk about, how that helped shape me as his mom. But I definitely think that, children are great if that's something that you desire to attain or to have. I think, it does take a lot of forethought, I would say, like in terms of, okay, am I really committed, right? Because you can learn a lot of things. You can learn how to, change your diaper. You can learn how to make a bottle. But am I committed to ensuring that this young baby that I would bring into the world, whether you're male or female, am I committed to ensuring that they are going to have the very best life that I can provide for them, and that, they're going to be the most productive, successful version of themselves that I can, provide, and that I can help them attain. And, I think that's a lifelong commitment that parents take on. And so, at the end of the day, I'm very blessed to be among the ranks of parents everywhere, all over the world, past, present, future, and to join the sisterhood of motherhood. So those are some of my insights. If you guys have any really cool insights about being a mom, being a dad, just being a parent in general, maybe a newborn baby, maybe not newborn, maybe older, just some lessons you've learned as a parent, that'd be great. Just comment below. If you like the content, feel free to share, subscribe, and turn those notifications on so you can be sure to get all the new content. Thank you so much. Remember, stay beautiful, stay positive, stay slaying. Till next time. Bye.